Hi folks, it's Jay. A few years ago, a friend of mine called me out of blue, bursting with excitement about a hidden garden she had discovered by chance. She told me it was so beautiful, it took her breath away. I was so intrigued and finally decided to reach out to that gardener. It's a stranger I had never met before, but the gardener graciously agreed to let me visit. On a humid July evening, between passing storms, I arrived at this garden, a private sanctuary hidden in a sleepy village. This is Linda's Hydrangea haven. What surprised me the most wasn't just the enchanting outdoor living space, but the story of how it began. It all started with a chance encounter over 4 decades ago. What has since grown from that moment is nothing short of a miracle, but it's a miracle within reach for all of us. As I wandered through this exquisite garden built by Linda and her husband, I couldn't help but marvel at the possibilities that lie within our own backyard. Sometimes all it takes is believing in a single encounter and nurturing a dream, no matter how small it may be. And they will bring something extraordinary to our life. I am with the gardener, Linda here. Can you say a quick hi to us?
Hello, everyone.
Can we join you for a walk in your garden?
I would love that.
I will follow you. And this is the middle of July that we're visiting Linda's garden, and this is the peak of the hydrangea season. So many different varieties of hydrangea. Right by the entrance to the backyard, we have a gorgeous mop head, the microphylla.
This one is an endless summer.
Lovely pink hue on the petal. It's just so beautiful. We are in zone 6 here, USDA zone 6. So we are kind of the ideal climate for different varieties of hydrangea. If we have a late frost, we may lose the season for the mop head, but our climate is so ideal for the arborescens and the paniculata.
Yes, and that's one of the reasons why we have so many of the arborescens. Yes.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So the arborescens, they flower on new wood.
New wood, as well as the paniculata.
So you're guaranteed to have flower in the season. This is just stunning. It's not just the hydrangea, it's the structure of the garden, how you incorporate different plants to be the companion plant.
I love that tree. It's my favorite tree.
Dapple, willow. And I know when they first leaf out, the tips, they're pink.
Yes.
And people always thought, oh, what's blooming on that tree? But those are just really the new growths of the young leaves. Let me take a step back. The scale of the hydrangea and this entire border of hydrangeas. What's that purple flower in front of the border?
This here is a Stokes aster.
It's an aster.
Yes. It's starting to wane a bit, but we still have some punch of purple there. I love the color of that.
Yeah, purple is just so soothing.
Yes.
And it goes well with so many different colors, including pink, red, and blue. I see you have a row of the hydrangea arborescens. Are they the incredible?
These are incredible, and I think it's really interesting to note these are all 3 incredible hydrangeas here making this hedge, but the ones on the left are in the shade and are much smaller than the ones on the right, which get a lot more sun.
Yeah, so people have this perception that hydrangea, you need to plant them in the shade. They would be shade tolerant. If they have enough humidity and moisture, they would grow much bigger and fuller with a little bit of more sun.
I mean, some of them are just huge.
Like the volleyball size.
Yes.
I think this is a red bud.
This is a red bud.
A beautiful red bud, and under the ones closer to the red bud, you can see they are noticeably smaller. So with hydrangea, they need sun to really thrive.
They do. I fell in love with hydrangea on our honeymoon 46 years ago. We went to Cape Cod, and you know, Cape Cod, Martha's Vineyard, and Nantucket are just loaded with hydrangea.
Yes.
The climate just lends itself to growing them there. And we had no idea what they were. I stopped at a nursery and I said, "What is that plant? What is that beautiful flower?" And
You see everywhere.
They told me hydrangea, and I said, "Someday I'm going to have a garden full of those."
Yeah, and you achieved this goal. You have a gorgeous hydrangea garden.
I still wish I could squeeze a few more in, and I probably will.
Yeah, maybe plant in your neighbor's yard. So the native habitat of a lot of the hydrangeas, they are in the coastal area. Many are from East Asia. In those areas, they thrive in full sun. So for hydrangea, it's more about the moisture and the humidity. And I noticed you have this retaining wall with the flagstone.
Well, long before we lived here, the garage, which is now located at the back of the property, was up here next to the neighbor's garage. And so when we went to try to dig down, we hit the concrete pad. So we needed to do a raised bed, and I wanted it to look like this had always been here.
So essentially, this entire area is a raised bed. You still have the concrete pad?
The pad is still there, yes.
How deep the soil?
I would say it's 2 to 3 feet down.
Okay.
Yeah.
The hydrangea, they have very shallow root systems.
They thrive in it. The redbud does well in it too.
It just gives people a lot of different ideas how they can turn like a difficult area into such a beautiful mixed border. And I see right in front of the incredible, you have a sitting area, and then you have something quite interesting.
This is our little tea time in the garden. It's just a little vignette that we created. One of the things that is most special to me is that one of the cup and saucers is from my mother's dishware, and another one is from my mother-in-law's dishware. So even though they're gone, I feel like they are part of the garden.
Yeah, they're still with you.
Yes.
And in the garden where you relax and find joy, those miniature plants, those impatiens and the miniature hosta, and the other two on the right, those are the Irish moss.
Irish moss, and
so
then
beautiful.
a succulent in the other one, yes.
You have a pretty deep lot with the shed, the garden shed in the very end.
Yes,
and,
that garden shed is quite old. It was here when we bought the house 31 years ago.
It looked like it is a custom-built shed. The design is quite unusual.
I think it was. I think the homeowners before us, I think he built it.
Oh!
I think. It reminds me sort of a barn, so I really like it.
This is made with cedar.
I believe so.
Yeah, so it kind of ages naturally, and you don't paint or stain.
No, we don't touch it.
Which just add a different texture, and also its position created a focal point.
Yes.
It created depth and a sense of destination. And I noticed you have a lot of a bunny in the yard. And what's the story behind all those bunnies?
Well, we also have real rabbits, but I prefer these. About 5 years ago, I just started falling in love with stone garden bunnies. I started collecting them, and different people have given them to me as gifts, some from my kids, and I just try to just mix them in to the landscape.
Maybe the real bunny, when they see those bunny, they will move along. I know they're kind of territorial.
That's the hope.
Yeah, but all those bunny just add a sense of whimsicalness to the garden.
And the rock cairns, the stacked stones, those, we took a trip to California, maybe 15 years ago, and I started seeing them all along the Pacific coast. Everybody was just stacking up stones. And I just loved the look of that. I looked it up. I found out they're called cairns, and they're all over Europe and particularly Ireland, and I love them. And so I started collecting rocks from different places that we travel to. So I almost always go home with a rock in my suitcase. So that I can add that also to the garden.
Yeah, this is a good way to kind of incorporate all the memories of the travel, the trips to different areas, and bring back and keep them in the garden.
Yes.
This is such a good way, and they're very low maintenance, and you don't need to do anything.
Exactly.
Oh, you have one more bunny
Oh, he's hiding
hiding.
in the impatiens.
If this is a real bunny, you wouldn't have any flower on the
No, we
impatient.
wouldn't, but he's in there.
And you have a lace cap. in the
This
back.
is called the Let's Dance Diva. They start out sort of whitish. This one's kind of just coming out, but then they turn like a lavender and pink.
The lace cap part on the flower head, they're kind of dramatic.
Yes.
So that's probably why they're called diva.
Diva, I think so, yes. And they're large for a lace cap too.
And you have a row of the hardy geranium, the Roseanne, healthy flower show called the Roseanne, the perennial of the century. And this is an excellent example to show how they perform. So even though it's not a climber, but they like to climb up, they show up on top of the hydrangea.
I love how they entwine into all the different plants that are around them. I don't cut them back for that reason. I know a lot of people do, but I just love how they mix in with the other.
Yeah, they have
other
very
plants.
long arms and long legs, and they like to mingle and ramble and climb up. It just creates such an interesting combination. So let me get closer and show this delicate purple flower on the Roseanne.
The color is just so beautiful too.
And they keep flowering throughout the entire summer.
Yeah.
So I see you have another area between the barn, the shed, and the garage. So this is
This we call the Peace Path, but it's a moon garden in that it has all white flowers. Years ago, the first time I went on the Buffalo Garden Walk, I was at a house, I want to say it was on Lancaster, but I'm not sure. And it's all color, and then you walk through an arbor, and then it's all white flowers, and it feels like a breath of fresh air as you walk in, and that just really spoke to me, and I wanted to create that in our garden as well.
Yeah.
So it's all green and white.
It's beautiful. It's so soothing and calming.
My sister made the garden signs.
To plant a garden is to
Believe in tomorrow.
Yeah, I love the quote. So you have the white verbena and the dichondra and the white petunia in the urn, and on both sides you have the white begonia as well as the white.
I still have a couple
impatiens.
pansies too.
Yes.
Can you believe it?
Yeah, we're in mid-July and we have a very hot and humid season so far.
I know. I love them so much that I decided to try to save them for as long as I could.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
That's the only pot that's left.
Let me get closer to the sign. So this is painted on a window.
On a window.
So beautiful. And you have the glossy leaf from the begonia and also the boxwood just provide this contrast. Very fine texture of the fern. It's a different texture, which just make the whole design so interesting.
This is my first year using Kimberly Queen fern, which can take sun.
Oh, so the one we're looking at, right?
Yes, I actually bought one and divided it into 4.
Oh.
And then I'm using it in 4 different pot combinations. And unlike some of the other ferns, it doesn't burn in the sun.
Oh, I see. Let me turn the camera slowly and show this
The Peace Path.
The Peace Path, the white garden or moon garden. So I think you can see this area from your back balcony or even inside of the house. And they must really pop, the white, they must really pop
Yes, it's
after dark,
beautiful.
under the moonlight. Oh, I see you have another with peace.
And a window box.
Yes. Window box of the white.
It's all begonia in there.
And different varieties of begonia. Some are double and some are, I think, tuberous begonia with this very showy large flower.
Yes.
And those trailing ones, are they the dead nettle?
Yes.
And you have some of the white diamond frost,
Yes.
euphorbia mixed in the middle. And as you have the golden hops.
Yes. I got that last year at Colleen's sale. I thought it died last year, and so I planted the hyacinth bean vine on this arbor instead this year, and then I saw it was coming up. It came back. So I just moved it over there.
Yeah, they are hard to get rid of
I
sometimes.
really thought I killed it, but it survived.
Linda saved the most surprising view of her garden for last. But even before seeing it, I began to see why her garden is truly a haven. It is not something easily obtained, nor is it a place to hide from the harshness of the world. Instead, it embodies a drive to live one's best life, and to work toward that dream, no matter how small or distant it may seem. I believe each of us carries a haven within our heart, whether it's like Linda's, flourishing at its prime, or still a tiny seed waiting to grow. What makes it truly ours is that it's a haven shaped by our own hands, and it's a place we will never be dismayed by the brokenness of the world. So how do you use the barn?
Oh, it's all storage for all of our gardening items.
Supply, yes.
Yes.
You do need a storage space for the gardening stuff. I notice you have a lot of boxwood.
We do. Hydrangea and boxwood are my favorite plants.
Sometimes people think you need a lot of different colors in the garden to make it beautiful, but sometimes less is more.
I discovered that the gardens I was attracted to the most had a limited color palette. And because I wanted a serene and peaceful, kind of soothing garden space, I went with the soft, cool colors, purples, blues, whites, and pinks.
I couldn't help but notice your neighbor, they have a stunning garden too. I noticed they have a mural on the side of their garage.
They do.
It's beautiful.
Yes.
And the large swaths of perennial, the cornflower and also the yellow flower. It's not a cornflower though, right? So
No, I want to say it's some kind of Rebecca, but I'm not sure. He grew almost all these perennials from seed. Quite amazing.
Oh, and also on the trellis, I noticed honeysuckle and maybe some of the clematis on the red tall trellis. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
And on the side of your barn, you have a vegetable area.
We have a small raised bed for tomatoes and cucumbers.
So that is facing south.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
facing-
facing south.
Yeah, with a little bit more sun. So I too struggle to find a sunny place in my backyard to grow vegetables. So
It's difficult. We have big old trees and we love them, but you know, sun is
a must for a lot of the
sun
vegetables.
is a must for vegetables.
So since you mentioned about tree, what kind of a shade tree do you have here? You have
We have quite a few maples and we have an ash tree also that we've been working to protect from the emerald ash borer.
Yeah.
So we get that injected periodically. And that's also been a challenge. One of the reasons that we put pots in our landscape is because we can't dig down because of the roots. So if we can't dig down, we go with a pot.
Yeah, they kind of elevate the plant and kind of avoid the direct competition with the mature shade tree for the moisture. But the plant, they can still enjoy the shade. I think this is a brilliant solution. And let me show the smaller plants in the urn and in the front of the border. So what is that purple flower?
That is a Broalia.
Brovalia.
Broalia. The only colors I've seen it are purple or white, and it's a shade lover. It's hard to find a purple plant that loves shade.
It's
But
beautiful.
Broalia is one of my favorites. I have it in several places in the garden.
And it just goes so well with the white on the arborescence hydrangea. What's the story behind this hanging piece of garden art?
Those are vintage spoons. And my sister gave me that. She's given me so many wonderful ornamental items for the garden.
Yes.
And that's one of my favorites. And it's a wind chime.
Goes well with the tea time, the tea
Yes.
cup set. So you have a scene. Yeah, almost a little bit like Alice in Wonderland scene, the teacups and
Yeah.
the rabbits.
Yeah, I guess so. I didn't
think
think
I'm
of that.
giving you new ideas now. And you have a lot of different variety of the Bernera in the front of
Yes.
the border.
We
And,
do.
do you find them self-seed?
Oh yes, they do, and they change too.
So the seeds, they're not true. They're not always true to the mother plant.
They're not always true, and like you can even see over here in the Jack Frost. There's a plain green one coming up.
So it kind of reverted the part of the plant.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I had quite a few of the very white ones over here, and they just, over the years, it all turned into the green with a little silvers.
That happens a lot with the Brunera. What I read is people suggest you divide them every few years and put a lot of compost because they are heavy feeder. Once they kind of depleted the nutrients, they kind of fizzle out, or they kind of revert.
Wow, I wish I had known that. I love the heart-shaped leaf though.
Yeah.
It's just so pretty.
And they have this very dainty pale blue flower very early in the season.
They're gorgeous.
Almost look like jewelry.
Yes.
And this is a stunning grouping of perennials. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yes, there's two types of coral bells in there. There's the Dolce Wildberry, which is the purple one, and then there's also
The green
Marvelous Marbles that I get at Mishler's sale, and quite a number of Japanese painted ferns, yes.
Yes. There's something very special about this area.
The purple in the Wildberry Heuchera, I just feel like picks up the purple in the painted ferns so beautifully.
I see.
I can't get Heuchera to grow in the ground. All the Heuchera over there is in pots.
Oh, I did not even notice that.
Yes.
Yeah, I had a lot of difficulty with the Heuchera. I mentioned in one of my videos in the spring, and many viewers, they so kindly share their solution, and many of them told me that they had good success growing them in container. And I also noticed you use a lot of annual.
For pops of color, and a lot of lady's mantle. I love lady's mantle.
They have this very interesting shape on their leaves, and their flower is a kind of a lime green turned pale yellow. They are very deer and rabbit resistant.
And when it rains, the water beads up on them and looks like little pearls. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Little diamonds almost.
Yeah, I think they look particularly lovely in the front of the border because they kind of lean forward. They all lean towards one direction, kind of soften the edges of the border. Linda, I noticed you have a different type of hydrangea here.
This is an oak leaf hydrangea. It's only its second year. This is called Gatsby Pink, and it will have flowers that start out white and then turn a beautiful shade of pink. It didn't bloom this year, but it is growing and getting much larger, so I'm happy with that, and hopefully next year.
The oak leaf hydrangea, they bloom earlier.
Yes.
And so you are making your hydrangea season starts even earlier.
Even earlier. And this is a hydrangea tree, a PG hydrangea tree, which is a paniculata.
Yeah, this is probably one of the larger variety of the hydrangea, like a large shrub or even a small tree.
We have 20 different varieties of hydrangea.
I see, that's quite a collection. And I see you have this sitting area.
These are new this year, the chairs.
It goes well with all the other color in your garden, the purple, the pink, different shades of green from the hydrangeas. And I notice in the center of the coffee table you have a Northern Violet.
This is the first year I've ever grown this. I saw it in a nursery and just fell in love with it and decided to try it.
You have more bunny hiding in the urns. You have quite a large family in your garden.
We
and
do.
Now I see you have those all different sorts of unusual container. Those are like a basket you use as a container.
That's a resin basket.
With this container, you elevate them. You make, with the addition of the bunny, you make this so interesting. So now we are entering your side garden right next to your back patio. You have another very beautiful sitting area surrounded by different types of hydrangeas. This is just so beautiful.
Thank you. Yes, we have the Incredible over here and some Endless Summer over here.
You have something quite different. The one in front of the Incredible, the pink one, those are arborescens, but they're pink.
They are. These are called Invincible Ruby, and they're a smaller pink arborescens, so they will reliably bloom every year. Some of them are starting to darken already, but there's also new growth coming out. We should be having in a couple weeks some new ones too.
Beautiful. I did not even know there are pink variety of the arborescens. This must be a newer.
We have 3 actually. We have this one. We have one in the back that we just put in this year called Incredible Blush. So it's an Incredible, but it's a pale pink. It's almost a silvery pink. And then we have over here that I removed the blooms today because they were very spent, but the Invincible Spirit 2, which is also an arborescens and blooms pink.
Wow, so now we really do have all different variety of the hydrangea.
We have a lot of varieties, yes.
Let's take a closer look at this stunning sitting area. You created more than a few sitting area in your garden.
We just wanted little places that we could gather. We all have our favorites. This happens to be the favorite for our dog Walter. He loves to come and lie on the couch here. So we come and sit with him here. This is also where our fire pit is.
Oh, it's a fire pit.
Yes, that is a propane fire pit there.
Some of the hydrangea as cut flower in a watering can. Hydrangea, they're excellent cut flower.
You know, I love hydrangeas as a cut flower. They don't last that long, but I think they're beautiful in a vase or in a pitcher, watering can.
You have a large grouping of the blue hydrangea.
These are Endless Summer, and interestingly, last year they were all pink, and this year many of them came in as blue or purple.
Oh, did you do anything using the acidifier?
About 6 years ago, we put aluminum sulfate on these to make them blue, and we thought it didn't work, but this year, for some reason, many of them look blue.
It's beautiful.
And some are still very truly pink.
I know with the acidifier, they need time to work. I mean, the hydrangea, they need time to take them in. So it's not an instant process. So, I mean, from my experience, they usually would require at least 1 or 2 seasons to work. But 6 years,
6 years.
But there's something going on with the soil here. The different shades of blue and the purple and the pink and the lavender. It's just so stunning. And this is just on one hydrangea plant.
They're all Endless Summer.
This is a lot more lavender, bluish hue. And then on the side, this one is really pink.
Yes.
So Linda, I will follow you for this area.
Okay.
So this is a passage from your front yard to the back. You created such a beautiful garden area centered around this passageway.
This side is all Annabelle.
Yes.
Many of them, my husband propagated them from cuttings.
Oh.
So we have a lot of Incredible and Annabelle, and many of them are babies. Yes.
Yeah. For the Incredible, do they start white or do they start green?
They're white and then they turn green.
Okay, so the white one be the younger stage.
Yes.
And then the green one would be how they look when they mature.
And it's such a pretty green, isn't
I
it?
know.
I love it. I love that green. And then this is all just shade-loving plants. There's the Jack of Diamonds Brunnera,
European ginger.
the European ginger, the Astilbe.
Yeah, all different shades of green, but with different pattern and color and texture. And I also notice you have the Astilbe still blooming.
This one is a later bloomer.
Oh.
So it's blooming now.
Beautiful. And look at this one.
This is a Nico Blue hydrangea, although it's pink in our garden.
This is an old-fashioned, very traditional variety, which only bloom on the old wood. Do you protect any of the hydrangea in your garden?
We do. We come out in the spring if we get a late frost and we see that there's a lot of buds already forming. We will put frost cloth on the hydrangea.
On the macrophylla variety?
On the macrophylla, yes. So anything that's pink or blue, we put frost cloth over.
Yeah. For anything in the arborescens and paniculata, they're cold hard. We don't need to worry about.
You don't need to worry about. Or we also cover the oak leaf.
This is such a nice entrance and this winding path with the peristome.
My husband Marlon built this path actually. We got the stone from my sister and brother-in-law, they didn't need it anymore, so we took it all and he wound all around the roots. That's why it winds.
Yeah, let me make a pause and show the viewer the view of your backyard garden, the hydrangea haven, from this passageway. This would be the view you or any visitor would say when they enter the garden from this side, with this with your barn in the far background. Just the depths, and also all the perennial, all the hydrangea in between, they're just so intriguing. The end of the passage, you have this arbor, you have something climbing on it. Is that also hydrangea?
It's a climbing hydrangea. It's never bloomed. We've had it for, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 years, and we've never gotten a bloom. It gets taller, but
yeah, I know they are very slow grower. They need at least 5 years to kind of really put the roots down. Then once they established, they grow pretty fast.
yeah, that's what I hear. I think we're on the 10-year plan.
You have a blue hydrangea at the end of the...
This is an endless summer that I did put aluminum sulfate on this year.
Look at
and
the blue.
It's beautiful blue. And this is actually in a pot. I grow a few hydrangeas in a pot. Because of the trees here, I couldn't put one. So it's in a very large pot.
Do you move the pot to any...
No.
No, so you keep it here.
Yes, but this one gets protection in the spring. We put the frost cloth over it.
That's a good solution. So it is feasible to grow hydrangea in pot.
Right, exactly.
How would you describe the style of your house?
This is a craftsman. Some people call it a bungalow. This is a Sears house. You could order the house from the Sears catalog.
I read about that.
This model was called the Wesley, and was built in 19-teens. We're not exactly sure, but it's over 100 years old.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
And you have this very generous sized front porch, and
we love the porch.
you spend a lot of time in the summer.
Yes.
If you're not working in the garden, you're sitting.
We love this. We have a screen porch in the back and then the open porch in the front.
Yeah, it just so make the house so welcoming.
Thank you.
What's in the smaller urn? Is that a...
Those are double impatiens.
Those are impatiens.
Yes, those are just double impatiens.
They almost look like mini roses.
They do.
Beautiful.
They do.
You have such a gorgeous garden with the hydrangea, and it's not just about the hydrangea. I love all the stories.
Well, we wanted the garden to create a sense of serenity and a peaceful space, and I think we hit the mark with that. So I feel very happy about that. We can go out there, we can hang out with the dog, we can have the family over. It's beautiful surrounding, but it's also very peaceful if you just want to sit out there with your glass of wine and your book.
Thank you for sharing your garden with us, Linda.
Thank you for coming and doing this remarkable tour and video.
Yeah,
we really
it's so
appreciate
beautiful. I just want to preserve it in the peak of the season. So something for us to look back in the winter when we have the storm, the blizzard. Yeah, so just to remember, no matter what, the summer will return. We will have a beautiful garden.
Yes, it gives you something to look forward to every year, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yes, the garden. Well, thank you again.
Thank you, Jay.